And this has been my kitchen.
Today on Cooking with SonicBlu, we are making biscuits and gravy. First, Gearbird is going to demonstrate how he makes biscuits by adding 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour to a bowl.
Family recipe.
Family recipe.
It's not mine. But they are good, and you're not going to want to go with any other ones after trying these.
Oh. Challenge accepted.
That's a challenge more of that.
More bad, yeah.
Sugar.
Sugar.
That's nice.
And how much sugar are we going to add?
We're adding, and I'm reading off a recipe right now. I do not know this by heart. But, 1/3 of a cup.
1/3 cup. Alrighty. Third of a cup of sugar.
Just erase that part.
Yeah.
1 tablespoon of baking powder is up next.
Okay.
Is it up there? It is.
Need the teaspoons.
2 tablespoons. One teaspoon of salt.
Teaspoon of salt. The Himalayan pink salt. And we're needing 1 tablespoon or teaspoon?
Teaspoon.
1 teaspoon of salt. There we go. 1 teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt going in. Okay.
And 1/2 cup of shortening.
And you use an electric beater for that, or no?
I mean, you can if you want, if you're a sim, but
How do you prefer to do it?
whisk.
With a whisk. All right. So you can use an electric beater if you want to, or use a good old classic whisk.
But don't use a wife beater.
Don't use a white beater. That would not be good.
That's the stuff to do.
Well, that's what you'd be wearing.
And milk.
And the milk, of course.
And there's no real thing for the milk, that's the problem. You kind of gotta eyeball it.
Ah. Well, it looks to be about maybe 1/2 cup of milk's worth.
Not even close to enough.
That's about a cup's worth. So whisk all the ingredients together. Cup and a quarter. You wanted to use a whisk. Electric beater would have been easier to do that, but
This is why they invented forks. Just a little bit more milk.
so about a third cup, 1 1/3 cup of milk.
That's about right consistency, yeah.
Yeah, that looks about right. So we can get all that stuff out of the whisk and, and mix the rest of it with it. That's why God invented spoons.
Don't use an electric whisk if you don't know how to use one of these. You'll have to use all of them in your life. My mom used the big machine ones though.
Oh yeah, the mixing bowls, the electric mixers. The ones that go for $300 at Best Buy.
Yeah.
I still want to get one of those, but in time.
Makes some good ass cookies with that.
Yep. Make cookies, bread, pizza dough.
Let's see this chunking off.
Even for kind of an elasticy type of consistency there.
Is that how all biscuits go?
Usually.
It's been a year since I made this, so consistency-wise, I have completely forgotten what I'm looking for.
We'll just have to see how these turn out, and we're ready for our baking sheet.
I guess it's never hurt to try.
Mm.
We don't have any parchment paper, do we?
No. It would be best to pre-grease this with some cooking spray.
Mm-hmm.
Get that. Okay, so we're going to pre-grease our baking sheet with cooking spray since we don't have parchment paper or wax paper. Well, parchment paper is mainly more for doughy baking, and then more for pastry baking you'll need wax paper.
I think it's a little too sticky.
Too sticky? Adding a bit more flour would fix that up. Which means we added a little too much milk. But that's okay, a little flour will counteract that, make it less sticky. That's about it. Okay. Looks like it's just what it needed. Made it a lot less sticky, but still elasticy.
Ah, there it is. Yep.
Yep. That's got it. Got some off of the bowl there. Okay.
done right, I should just be able to grab this and pop them on.
A little bit tacky, but
I mean, I can always just do this.
about that size of
It's gonna be more than that.
a little more than that. You're making the big biscuits. Okay.
Biscuits and gravy, they gotta be big.
Oh yeah.
I just let you put those in.
Okay, mate.
You'll have to put them in.
I think it's nice. Devil. Big biscuits.
You can stop between them.
And how do you smell them? They're big biscuits, so we don't eat.
In terms of the oven preheat, let's just say
365. Okay, then we'll hit start. Okay, and then once that's preheated, we'll stick those in and we'll show you how to make the sausage gravy part. And I have the recipe for that. So we need to keep the flour out, keep the salt out, and keep the milk in the refrigerator until we need it again. But we are done with the shortening, and we'll put this right back here. Okay. And then when we get to that point, we'll let you know what next step to take in making our biscuits and sausage gravy. We'll be right back. And here they are. So about maybe 45 minutes total until they come out looking golden brown and delicious. We have our large, giant biscuits. Now those biscuits are going to be a little tough, but they're going to taste great with gravy topped on top of them. Soften them up a bit. And it's okay if they come out a little tough. As you can see, they're going to be a bit on the tough side. But they're going to be delicious when we make our sausage gravy. To make our sausage gravy, and this is where I come in, I'm going to grab my wok, open this up, we're going to have us some sausage gravy. All you got to really do when you make sausage gravy, we're just going to need a pound of country sausage. Best to get the breakfast sausage variety if you can. Okay. I'm going to turn this on to a medium-low. Let this heat up a little bit. And then we're going to grab our spoon. Let's grab our slotted spoon because we're going to be working with gravy. And we're going to need a slotted spoon for this. So we're going to break down our sausage. Okay, now once your sausage is broken down, we're just going to grab a bowl to put our sausage into, and that would be good enough. So we're going to put our sausage, we're going to cook our sausage, we're going to put it aside, and then we're going to reincorporate it back into our gravy once we make it, but we have to get rid of that sausage once it's done browning. So we're just going to allow it a little time to brown. And just like that, we have a full pan of a browned breakfast sausage, 1 pound's worth. Now we're going to put all this in the bowl, but retain the greases. Why do we do that? Because it's going to be part of our gravy. So move all that sausage down, but try to retain our greases as much as possible. And you can have bits of sausage in there while we make the gravy. It's not going to hurt anything as long as you save as much juices from our sausage as possible. Now we're going to reach in for the start of our roux, and that's our butter. So we're going to try to make a roux out of this. We're going to need 2 tablespoons worth of butter or margarine. About 1 tablespoon worth. There's about 2. I'm just going to eyeball that for a little bit. And let's get that butter melted. Bruce, just gotta wait until you see clean. We're also gonna make potato salad on the side here, folks, so I'm gonna be helping out with that. But first, we're gonna melt this margarine down. You can use unsalted butter is preferred, or regular old margarine. But if you use the salted butter, reduce the amount of salt that you put into this recipe, and you won't get an overdose of sodium. Because we want the right amount of ingredients to taste just perfect. And we got salt, we got pepper, we got milk, we got butter, and we got flour. That's all you need to put into your sausage gravy. It's a real simple recipe to make. All you need are the biscuits, and we have those done right over here. So, once we get this...
What did you know? You got type 2 diabetes.
Because everybody in the South, this is how we wake up in the morning. Every morning, guarantee. Or is that down there in Louisiana? Down in Nolens. Nolens, that's how they do it. In Nolens. I was going to prepare to get our milk. Because milk is going into this recipe, not water. Water is for making meaty gravies, like your turkey gravy, or beef gravy, chicken gravy, any kind of gravy where you use chicken product, meat product that you've already cooked, and you make a roux out of that, you add water. For your sausage gravy, we're going to need milk. That gives it its white color. And all you need to season that with is salt and pepper, a little sausage here and there, and the sausage juices, and little bits of sausage are already in there. That's perfect. Alright, so now that butter is melting up good, we're going to grab our flour. And we're just going to eyeball this to make a roux. Okay. Once all that butter, margarine melted in that pan, we'll go to our next step. Alright. Let's add our flour to make our roux. Gonna dust.
I think we gotta call this potato. I just cut out like 4 bruises and we just keep popping.
Okay, yeah, then just get rid of it. Okay. I'm gonna start with a little sprinkling of flour here. There is no real measurement, just making a roux out of our butter, our flour. Mix all that together until well combined. Might have added a little too much flour. That's alright. It's fixable. Anything is fixable in this recipe. So if you have excess flour left over, don't worry. Just get it all together as best as you can. And that extra flour will help when we dissolve it in milk. Okay, so there is our roux, our butter, our flour mixed together. Let's add our milk. Our milk, once again, not really measured, but we're going to probably about use 3 cups total worth. But we're just going to add a little at a time to thin out our roux. We're going to use the back of the spoon to press the roux into our milk and to thicken it up as we go along. And it's just like making regular gravy. Work all of those lumps into our milk, and that will make our milk thicker. Stir it in. Get some more roux. Pat that down. This is why you need a slotted spoon, so that way you can work the roux right through the slots. And just kind of work it into our gravy mixture here. Give it a little stir. Make sure all that roux is stirring in nicely. Okay, it's starting to thicken up a little bit, but we still got a lot of lumps over here, so let's move our lumps that away. Give it a mix, and as you can see, it's starting to thicken up. Keep on mashing. And by the time we're done, hopefully this recipe will serve about 8 servings. So just keep on mixing. And as that roux heats up, it'll be easier to mix into our milk. The hotter your pan, the easier it melds in with your milk. If it gets too thick, add some more milk. If it's too thin and your lumps are pretty much gone, Add more flour until you get the thickness that you desire. That's the beauty part about working with gravy. So now, most of our milk is incorporated in with our roux, and it is very thick and chunky. So we're going to smash some more of that roux. As we stir, we smash. That helps incorporate the roux into our milk, thickens it up. We're going to need a lot more milk than that, so let's add more milk now. Not that much. Always add a little at a time. That way it ensures that you don't add too much too soon, and you know how much you're working with. So now we're going to stir our mashed roux into the milk to get incorporated with as much into that liquid as we can. And already some of that roux is melding into our milk and making the new milk that we put in there a little thicker. And continue to mash and stir. Let's reach for our salt. We're going to be adding it to taste here, so you're looking for about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and as much pepper as you want. It's best to get the grinding pepper, it gives you a stronger flavor. Also gives us a nice vibrant color to add to your white sausage gravy. We're almost out of pepper in this one, but we do have more. Okay, that's about it. Oh, no, get a little more. And regular black pepper, so we're going to need a lot of that. There we go. Alright, that'll be good. Stir all of that together until the pepper is well incorporated in. Starting to look like gravy already, isn't it, folks? Look at that. Look at that, huh? Alright. Now, for the secret ingredient, the sausage, which we have browned. This is 1 pound of sausage. Stir that in until it is well incorporated. And as you can see, our sausage gravy is thickening up now. There it is. Our beautiful sausage gravy. Now we're going to turn down the heat. Let the heat from the burner kind of keep it warm. Make sure that's all stirred in together. Good. Now, for a taste test. Absolutely perfect. That's all we need. Don't need no more flour. Don't need no more butter. No more sausage. That is perfect. Nice and thick too. Okay, so let that stay on the warm burner. And then let's get us some plates so that we can serve up some sausage and gravy. At least get our first part of tonight's feast finished. Okay, so we're just going to probably take this and cut it. Yeah, let's do that. So let's take a biscuit and we'll cut it. That way more will go around. We'll just cut it into quarters here. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7. And there's 4 of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. One of them got eaten. That's 2.
There's green on this one. This one needs to go out.
What?
Green on this potato needs to go out.
Okay.
Watch out.
Okay, so there's our biscuits. So we've got 2 of them. Okay. And I'm just gonna grab a spoonful, grab my plate, bring it back over. And we're just gonna pour it directly over our biscuits. About 3 good spoonfuls should do us. Maybe 4. 3.5.
3.5.
Nope. I got 4. Okay, about 4 good spoonfuls. And there's your sausage gravy. Now let's take a taste test. And I'm going to go over here and reach for a fork. Okay, and let's give this a try. Oh my my. And this is really good if you're making biscuits gravy with eggs or with pancakes or waffles, cereal, grits. You can have this with oatmeal, bacon, sausage links. Oh, hot. That came out good. Nice and creamy. Well, that breakfast sausage really brings out the flavor. So, from all of us to all of you out there, if you're not cooking good, you're not eating good, and you're definitely not having some good old Southern country sausage and gravy biscuits. So whip up yourself a batch out of homemade biscuits and homemade gravy. You've made it all from scratch. There goes those claws again. But at any rate, we do hope you enjoy this, and let us know how this turns out in your household when you make this recipe. And I will see you next time on Cooking with SonicBlu. Enjoy!
There we go. Why? No.
I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I think all production heads do that. Yappy does it. I do it. I don't know why. It just happens that way.